Hi guys, how's it going? Oh, it's me again. It's me, Jessica. Oh, hope you guys are all hanging in there. So this will be the fourth time that I filmed this video, and I'm hoping that I've got it figured out with my stupid phone. Anyway, so I wanted to show you my finished coloring pages from March 2025. I mean, you know, as the years go by, every year becomes a smaller, like, fraction of my life. And so they just seem shorter and shorter. Anyway, so I don't know how many pages I did or how many books I worked in, but I'm just going to show you what I accomplished, okay? And like I said, I don't keep track of the number of pages or anything like that. So I'm just a fly by the seat of my pants colorist. Anyway, so first page in Tales from Atlantis by Hannah Carlson. And I'm going to have to search when I open these books because I've put markers in and removed them and put them back in and taken them out like literally 3 times. So I'm just not going to do it again. Anyway, so I did these fish, and let's see, gouache in the background. They're actually a really neat set of gouache that I have. Let me just show you real quick. So it's this set by Niji. And what I like about it is that they're really rich colors, really rich, vibrant colors. And, you know, you can just scoop out a little bit, put it on a palette. If you don't use it all, you can put it back in the jar. Unlike tubes of gouache where you can't do that. So even if color has dried up on the palette, you can still put it back in the jar and it'll rehydrate, which I think is great. So no waste. Anyway, so that's the set that I used. Yeah, made by Niji. I'll show you the bottle. Anyway, but yeah, nice vibrant colors too. Okay, so I used gouache in the background, and then some kind of watercolor for basing all of the fish, and then I went back over with pencil, gel pen, a little bit of acrylic marker, and some iridescent sparkly watercolors. I actually even used some Color Shift acrylic paint on some of these fish too. So yeah, so I did this guy. And then, oops, let me move my little table over here. Okay. And then also Hannah Carlson in Tales from the City Among the Stars. I did a couple pages in here, I think. Yeah. So I did these birds. And I just like all the colors, you know. So I figure, why do each bird the same color, you know, when I can do them all different colors? So anyway, so the page was just the clouds and the birds, and then this space in here was blank. So what to fill it with, and if I figured, you know, if you're looking down up from above the birds, like say you were in an airplane, you would see, oftentimes you would see farmland. So that's what I added. I added a bunch of different farmland colors and stuff like that. So, and that I did with watercolor pencil, and the clouds are pan pastel and a magical white gel pen from, whoops, at least I think it's magical. Where is it? So these Langau Plus, Color Gel Pen Plus, and their white gel pen is amazing. And if I could have one gel pen. If I was alone on a deserted island and I could only have one gel pen, this would be the one. I like it even better than my Signos. Anyway, so then I did, all the birds, I actually used the real brush, the clean color real brush pens, and a little bit of sparkly watercolor here and there, and of course some gel pens and that kind of thing. So I did that one. And then I had previously shown you guys this page with this little kind of like Alpine village. And then this one I think is more of a close-up view of the village, different perspective. And same thing, really. Well, the watercolor that I used are my homemade Graphitint-esque watercolors, especially this purple and I believe this red. And then this building was actually, I don't remember what brand of watercolor it is, but it's a Potter's Pink color. And then I think this was actually my A Gallo watercolors that I based this building with, because they have great oranges. Anyway, and by the way, if you would like me to show you guys my watercolor collection, I've had at least one person say that they would like to see it. Just curious to know how many more people would like to see it. If I can get a couple more people say, yeah, we want to see your watercolors, then I can do that, and I'll just pull them all out and talk about them. And maybe do a little swatching, who knows. Anyway, so watercolor, and then the usual, like gel pens, pencils. We got a little bit of smudging here from something. I don't know what it's from. It's from another product. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I love doing scenes like this where there's lots of little details where I can just add embellishments and, flowers and coloring in the little clothes hanging on the line and that kind of stuff. I love these types of pages. So anyway, so I did that one. And then in Fairy Tales and Folklore, let me see if I can find it. Like I said, I had these all marked, and then got a little smudge right there too. So this one, I based everything with clean color markers. And then same thing, went back with some gel pen. I don't think I used any pencil on this though. I did do glaze pen on this flower, and I decided I hated it, so I didn't do any more. And then I used another gel pen, sort of like covering up the lines in this peony. Didn't like that either, so I just stuck with, what was there. Added a few little highlights with some iridescent watercolor. But, yeah. So there's that one. Pretty colorful. I definitely like colorful. And then in the Occult and Folklore coloring book, I've only done one page in here, but there's a lot more that I'd like to do. So this page is actually supposed to be the Solstice Dance, and it says, these reveling dancers are paying homage to the hot summer sun. But I didn't want to make it the sun. I wanted it to be the cool summer moon, like a full moon. So that's what I did. And so I used watercolor in the background. Don't remember what brand it was, but actually I think it might have been my Rosa. Yeah, I think it was Rosa. Anyway, and then acrylic marker around here, and Coliro or Fine Tech watercolor in the background here. I did do all the ladies with pencil and some gel pen. The grasses are all done with clean color markers, and then these new glaze pens that I got. I got them from Temu, and the brand is Shand. Shands, and they call them 3D gel pens. And these are great. They're super juicy, and they have really similar colors to the Jelly Roll glaze pens, but I think there's more neons in those. It comes in a set of 12 colors. So anyway, but I love them. And I love using neon in moonlight because, you know, anyway. So yeah, so I did that one. And then in Dromenvanger, or Dreamweaver by Tomislav Tomic, I just got this actually last month. And I'm telling you guys, it was a freak thing that happened. I was watching an old, I think it was a coloring book haul video that was done like 3 years ago or something. And whoever it was, or no, it was somebody showing their coloring book collection. And they happened to add links to like most of the coloring books that they were showing. And this was one of them. And it was a third-party Amazon seller. And they had a copy of it. And I was like, what? So I bought it. It wasn't cheap, but I got it. And I'm so happy I did. I like this one a little bit better than the other one, the sand, whatever it is. Because this one is double-sided. And it has, I think, more images in it. And anytime I've seen work done in this book, I just always I want that book. Anyway, the cover was kind of bent and damaged when it arrived, but there was no coloring in it, and everything was in good shape other than that. But this was damaged, so I just used double stick tape and added a heavy piece of cardstock on the inside of my cover. It smeared a little bit before I was able to get fixative on this page. But anyway, so since I want to color it cover to cover, probably not in order, but I definitely want to color as much as possible in this book because I love it. I started with the title page, and I was just playing around the day that it came. And anyway, so I wound up finishing it that day. And so it's a lot of different pencils and a lot of different Iuli watercolor, some fine tech watercolor, and a little bit of gel pen. So yeah, so I did that. And then where's that other page? This one. I have another double page spread that I just finished yesterday, but that doesn't count for March, so I can't show it to you. So I did this page with this little dragon, and I just thought he was so cute. And so this was a good page, I think, for me to start on because it has this window border, which was relatively, I don't want to say easy, but non-threatening. And I really like borders. I really like frames and that kind of thing. And one of the things I love about his artwork is just the scrolly, vines and that kind of stuff. So I just love them. Anyway, so I did this little guy, and I did most of the basing with Neocolor 2s, and then came back with pencil, and same on the dragon. I think I did do Neocolor 2 on him, and probably on a lot of the flowers too. She's done with clean color, real brush markers, and gel pen. I mean, I could just go in depth about what I used everywhere, but it doesn't really make that much difference, I don't think. Anyway, so I did use some iridescent watercolor on his wings and on hers. There's some things about her that I would definitely change, but, it is what it is. So, yeah, so I like this page and how it came out. I like the colors. I could have probably added a little bit more contrast, just to kind of bring him out a little bit. I think the tone is a little bit too similar between him and the sky and stuff. I don't know. I tried to add a little bit more depth down here so that his tail would kind of pop out. But anyway, we can't just criticize everything, can we? And then just in this Mandalas with Beautiful Borders collection book, I did a couple of mandalas. Neither one of them I'm super excited about, but they were fun to play around with. And I just used all kinds of different things on here. Watercolors, I don't think I did use watercolors. I think I used the real brush markers, acrylic markers, gel pens. I know that these flowers are all done with gel pen. I think these I did do with watercolor. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of just playing around in this book just to see what different mediums feel like in here on this Amazon paper. And then I did this one too. So yeah, same thing, watercolor, a little bit of gel pen. I didn't go crazy on it. I really like the lime green though. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so I might actually go through this book and remove some pages and print them on craft paper, because that's how I really like to do mandalas, is on craft paper. So I might do that. Since you guys said that I could, I think I might do it. And then in this Crystal Vogle's book, I don't know the title of this one, but it's the fairy book. I've only done one like facing page in here. There's a lot more pages that I'm really excited about working on in here. So, but I just wanted to see how pencils did in here. So I just did this little facing page with this little blue fairy and the little bee. So it's all just pencil, and then on the wings I did, I think, some kind of sparkly gel pen. So yeah, but that's all I've done in here. It's a really cool book, and it costs enough money to where I'm definitely motivated to work in it more. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of same deal with this book. This is Rita Berman, My Walk Through Asia or something. I think that's what it translates to. And I just did this fish page. Only thing I will say, there's, I don't want to just criticize, but I'm not super happy about the page. I really like the water, and I like the leaves, the like lily pad leaves. I like this flower, but I don't like this one, and I don't really like that one. I like this fish, and I like this fish, but the rest of the fish, I wish I would have used some black in the fish. I think that would have really helped. But yeah, so that's all I've done in there, in this book. But there are quite a few pages that I would like to work on in this one also. But I'm not going to buy any more Rita Berman books until I work in this one more and sort of get a better feeling about coloring her artwork, if you know what I mean. And then in Maria Trolle's universe, which I bought in lieu of buying a whole bunch of other books by her. I just made a decision, like, I'm not going to buy all those other books that I have in my wish list, because I think this is enough of a sampling of all of those books that I don't need to. So, and plus you get some extras in here. I think it says there's 22 images that she did specific for this book. So that's cool. And I've only done one page in here, and this is a page from Botanicum. I did this little mermaid and based it with my clean color markers and then some pencil. I did a lot of gel pen in her hair, like covering the black lines in her hair with one of those fine um, one of these gel pens, the Lango. I love these gel pens. I'm definitely on the Lango bandwagon. Yeah, I think they're really cool. And then I use those new 3D jelly pens on these little shells. They let out so much ink that it's like paint, like you can move it around for a long time. So it's kind of fun to like blend the colors together. Anyway, so I did her. And then I've got some digitals. There's a couple done. These are, R.J. Hampson images from his website. This one is Rest Your Wings. I don't remember what book this came out of. But I bought some of his like mini bundles that he's got on his website. And in case you're not aware, you can, if you go to his website, I think it's just rjhampson.com, he has some really good values as far as digitals on there. You can just buy like an individual image. I think he's got like a couple of pages worth, so maybe like a few dozen or so, just single images that you can buy. And then he's got like some 6-pack images that you can buy for like $5 and that kind of thing. And you can buy all of his books, digital copies of all of his books too. So that's probably where I'm going to get all, and I have actually purchased a number of them. Anyway, so I did this little wreath. I wish he would do a book of just botanical stuff, because I would really love that, I don't know. Does anybody else really love his like florals and that kind of thing? I just think he has a really neat style of doing that particular type of thing, with the insects, and I just like his flowers and vines and leaves and stuff. I mean, I like all the other stuff too. It's just, I'm really attracted to that. It would be great if he ever hears this video, if he would do just a book of all that kind of stuff, botanical stuff. Anyway, so this is all pencil on craft paper, and this is my favorite craft paper in the world. It actually comes from Hobby Lobby, and the last time I ordered it, comes in 2 sizes, and it's the extra heavy craft paper from Hobby Lobby, and it comes in an 8.5 by 11 or a 12 by 12, and so I ordered 100 pack of the 8.5 by 11 and 2 25 packs in the 12 by 12. Well, the 8.5 by 11 was wrong. It wasn't it wasn't the same craft paper that they always had before. It is craft paper, but it's not the same. It's a different texture, different color and everything. But the 12 by 12s were. So I've actually had to cut down my 12 by 12s so that I could print this format with the paper that I love. So I was really bummed out about that they changed it. And I don't know why they're different now, but anyway, it's great paper. It's nice and thick, and it has a great tooth, and you can just layer and layer and layer on top of it forever. And anyway, so this is all pencil, and then just some gel pen, like glaze pen in the bugs. So, and then I did this one. This is Jungle Nights. I printed them with the with the titles on them, just so I would know what they are. You can print without those if you want to. So, but I like having that there so I know like where it came from and what the title is and stuff. Anyway, so this one is not craft paper. It's actually Canson pastel paper. Not pastel matte. It's just their pastel paper. You can buy like a pad of like, I think it's 20 sheets, and you get like 6 different colors of pastel paper in there, and it's really nice paper. So anyway, this is all pencil, and then just some gel pen details, basically. So, yeah. And if anybody is also curious to see kind of when I say colored pencil, what I mean, because I have all my pencil, I don't use just like a particular set of pencils when I use colored pencils. I have very specific pencils that I like, made by different companies, and I just have them all together, and so that's what I do. Anyway, so there's that one. And then from Olga Goloveshkina's Mounts 2, I actually took this book apart and I did scan some pages. So you guys will be happy. You'll be proud of me, right? However, my scanner printer something's wrong. Something has gone horribly wrong with it because it will no longer connect to my computer. I can't even get it to connect with the USB anymore. And yeah, I'm not very happy about it. I can make just like a photocopy. It'll still like just make a copy, which is nice. But I do like to be able to scan things and then kind of manipulate them however I want. Especially like with that fish book that I got. Like, I got this fantastical fish coloring book, and I would really like to be able to crop in on like one fish and to print it. And anyway, I can't do that right now, so I'm upset about it. But anyway, so I did this dragon out of this book, and he's actually done with Gamsai watercolors. I have a few different sets of Gamsai style watercolors that I've got all mixed together, so I can't say if it was Kuretake or what brand it was. But anyway, so I just wanted to do like a really rich red dragon and just really trick him out and make him fancy, Yeah. And yeah, the plants and stuff, the lavender, that's all watercolor. And I don't think I used much in the way of gel pens on this. Anything that's like sparkly on here is watercolor. So yeah, the only gel pen I used was the highlights on the flowers and the rocks. So yeah, so that's from Mounts 2. And then I did a bunch of mandalas from this book, Celestial Circles. So I'm not going to talk in depth about each one, but for the most part, all of these are done with watercolors, different watercolors. These are obviously, iridescent or color shift or, different types of watercolor. But yeah, super fun. And one of the reasons that I really like using craft paper is because I don't feel like I have to do the background on things, like with that wreath. I feel like it looks great without a background, This one is actually done with gouache and gel pen. I did use a black gel pen to kind of re-outline everything. And I think I used a gold, super golden marker also. So, yeah. I think I did do a little bit more outlining with some other sparkly pen, but I don't remember what it was. And then this one, same thing, all watercolors. And just gel pen in the eyes, and then I re-outlined some of these shapes with a gel pen. So, and then this one is actually all pencil this is the only, I don't know if this is watercolor or some kind of metallic gel pen, but I think it's actually watercolor, this gold color around here. And that silver is also a watercolor. It's a Finetech Real Silver color. Oh, and then I did use a glaze pen for these little elements. But yeah, the rest of it is pencil. And then this is actually done with a dot card that came from A Gallo. I bought a dot card from their website when I was ordering some other tubes of watercolor from them. And they have started making iridescent paints. So that's totally rad. I'm excited about it. But at the time that I put the order in, they didn't have like sets for sale. They only had the dot card, so I bought the dot card. But they're nice, healthy, big, like samples of their watercolors. I need to get back on their website and see what kind of pricing they have and stuff like that for their iridescent watercolors, because they're beautiful. But I only use those colors on this page, and I did do some mixing and that kind of thing, because there's 10 colors, but I was able to get some pretty nice blends, different tones and different shades of the colors. So yeah, anyway, so I thought that one turned out really pretty. So those will go in the book. And then I've got Color Me Capybaras. I've only done one page in here so far, but if you haven't seen this book, it's so cute. It's so cute. It's just, I need to work in this book a lot more. It's adorable. I was turned on to this by Axic Fumble. No, actually, I bought it off of Book Outlet before I saw her working on it, but I saw her working in this book, or showing this book, after my order had shipped, and I hadn't gotten it yet. And I was so excited to get that box of books because this book was in it. Anyway, so yeah, so I just did this guy driving his sports car. And I had some mishaps along the way with acrylic ink and acrylic markers and that kind of thing, but I won't go deep into it. But I did base, for the most part, the whole page with watercolor, and then came back in and added details with pencil. My favorite part of it is the clouds in the sky back there, and those trees. But anyway, yeah. So I did do acrylic ink on the car because I wanted it to be like glossy. And then something smudged and it got all messed up. And since that ink is transparent, it wouldn't cover the smudge. So I had to do it with an acrylic marker, which was matte. And anyway, it just got all messed up. But it is what it is at this point. So yeah, that's my one finished page in Color Me Capybaras. And then last thing I wanted to show you guys is what I've done in Wildergorn. And the whole thing is not going to fit in frame because it just won't. And I'm not able to zoom in or zoom out at this time with my phone. So here we are. I'm going to try to save up for a better camera system so I can zoom in and out with like a remote. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, so I just thought I would show you guys what I've done in Wildergorn. I was going to do lots of things that I haven't done. But anyway, so this page and the next page, I think I did in February. But I wanted to catch you guys up. So this is the first page that I've done. And this is the Gong Wizards of Astriel. And everything is done with the real brush markers. And then shading and whatnot. A lot of that I actually did do with the markers. But also pencil. And then I used a lot of like metallic watercolors in, you can see the blue in the building, and here. Just added watercolors here and there. And, you know, it's a fantasy world, so I just feel like I can just use whatever colors I want. I can just go crazy and make it what, you know? I mean, I could do it like all like realistic or something, but then it's like, well, maybe the realistic for this fantasy world isn't the same as it is here on Earth. I don't know. So I'm just making it fun, you know? Anyway, one thing I do want to show you is the little dogs. I was having a hard time, like, deciding what I wanted to do with all these little dogs. Because I counted them. There's like 22 of them on these 2 pages. And I just didn't feel like doing a bunch of, like, shading and trying to make them look like spaniels or something. And so I decided, okay, I'm just going to leave them till the end and see what I want to do. And I decided I'm just going to make them all Dalmatians. So I left them all white and just gave them all black spots. So, yeah, so that's how those little dogs turned out. And I've done the borders and stuff of, you know, all the pages that I've done. So, yeah, it's just really fun. I recommend, if you do get this book, I definitely recommend reading the story because it'll help you to understand what's happening in the scene. And it just kind of starts like shaking up your creativity and whatever, if you kind of have an idea of what's going on. You know what I mean? Otherwise, some of the things, some of the elements can just seem like, what is that, you know? But if you read the story, then you kind of get a better idea of what things are, so you can put it into some kind of context in your head, you know? Anyway, like, so here's the rest of the little dogs. And then this page. And this paper is actually really nice. It's pretty heavy. And I probably could use watercolor on it, but I really don't want to do that. I don't want to warp the paper. I just kind of don't want to do that. So, you know, it handles the real brush markers just fine. And I do get just a slight bit of warpage, but it's only just like a little bit of a bow in the page. So, it, you know, when the book is closed, it just presses it nice and flat. So, anyway, so yeah, pretty colorful, huh, guys? I love this game board down here. I don't know. I hope you guys can see it. But I love this little game board. It was really fun to do. I did them with glaze pens. And then, and that's how I did all the spots on the dogs, too, with glaze pens. This one right here, I had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of mishap with the pen. And so he wound up being opposite. So he's a black dog with white spots. But, yeah, so pretty fun, though. I'm excited to, I'm going to do the whole book, and I'm just going to go cover to cover in order. So this page is the first page in a different location now. This is the Airstones of Sewell. So Sewell is the next location in this like fantasy world. And so it like explains like what these guys are. These are the Airstones. And yeah, so anyway, I was kind of inspired by, I can't remember what the name of that building is. I think it's Gaudi in Barcelona. The building, you know, anyway, kind of was what I had in my head thinking about this building or this structure or whatever you want to call it. That, and also the Watts Towers, if you've ever seen photos or seen in person the Watts Towers in California. That's kind of, this is sort of like a, like both kind of smushed together. Anyway, so I wanted the little details, like little elements in the stonework to kind of look like like it was clay or like it was some kind of mosaic or something, you know. So I did that all with glazed pens. Just the like the dots on here, and you know, and like these helmets on these guys I did with a glazed pen. I love glazed pens. Don't you guys love them? Anyway, yeah, and I decided for this location, instead of making all of the characters' clothing the same, even though they all kind of have this pattern on their clothes, I don't feel like it's a uniform. Like on these pages, all of the characters are all kind of like in like an order of people, like monks or something, you know. It would be like, so I did all of their clothing the same, because see, they're all wearing these hats, and they're the gong wizards, you know, so they're all kind of like in a club, you know, except for these guys are like prisoners. But anyway, so these are just citizens that live here, so they can all have different colors of clothing, and yeah. Anyway, but I'm gonna do all of the air stones in that teal color. So, and then there's another double page that's in the same location. So these guys will all be the same. There's a new character or a new creature that is introduced on these two pages, though. This thing here, and those are the stormfish. So yeah, and then it goes on to another location in Wildergorn for the next 4 pages. So it's really cool how, you know, you get introduced to all these different you know, all these different places around in this imaginary world. You know, I can't wait to do this page. So anyway, I showed this book. I did a flip through of this book. There's lots of flip throughs of this book, actually, on YouTube. And some people, there are actually flip throughs of people who've completed it. So, yeah, if I ever get it done, I think I think I could probably get it finished this year if I am diligent. I have another copy of it that I might work on at some point, and maybe change up my whole color, you know, process in that, or maybe use different mediums. I might do it in pencil or something, but yeah. And if you're interested in this book, you can actually get digital images from his website, from Jamie Cordier's website. I think it's just wildergorn.com. And you can download individual images from the book and have them printed. I would recommend having them printed in a large format like this, though. So if you don't have a printer that can do that at home, you can put the images onto like a thumb drive, and then take them to, you know, like the UPS store or someplace like that, and they can print on like an 11 by 17. And yeah, so because if you just print them on 8.5 by 11 or A4 size, it's gonna like shrink the details down. And yeah, because they're intended to be printed out larger like this. So, and then he also has posters that are already printed that you can buy directly from his website too, that are images from the books. So they're actually larger detail. So like if you want to color these images, but you'd like to, you don't want them to be so tiny, the posters actually are larger in general, right? Everything's bigger. So it's not so much strain on your eyes, even though it's a huge poster. What's her name? Sarah Renee Clark she colored one of his posters on a video. She has a video showing what that experience was like. So go check that out if you like, you know, if you follow her. Anyway, so that's it. I hope that this video works and that I'm able to publish it, because I'll tell you, I was about ready to throw in the towel on the whole entire YouTube idea. But it might have worked out. So anyway, I'll just set up a little thumbnail here. Okay. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email or just allthecolors@gmail. And let me know if you want to see my watercolors or my colored pencils or whatever. Okay? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I would do. Okay? Alright. Bye for now.